Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of Classic Gamer 74. I am your host, Anthony Ventrilo, and today I'm going to talk about the video game WWF Wrestlefest from 1981 by Technos Japan. Episode 4, I talked about the previous WWF game called WWF Superstars, and this game is definitely a step up from that previous game in many, many ways. In this game, there are more wrestlers added to the roster, enhanced graphics and sound, commentary during the match, and introduction to the wrestlers by former WWF announcer Mike McGurk, and Mean Gene Okerlund makes a return. As you can see by looking at the cabinet, what made this game also very unique and one of a kind was the fact that you had 4 players that you can play with simultaneously in 2 different modes. With the success that Technos Japan had with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game, they kind of used that same concept with this game. Building on the success of the previous game, WWF Superstars, WWF Wrestlefest, by not only having the many improvements that the game had, it also had 2 playing modes. You had Saturday night's main event, where you had a tag team, much like in the previous game, where you would go through a series of matches to face the tag team champions, who in this game were the Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal. Or you had the Royal Rumble mode, where you could fight against all the opponents in the game in a Royal Rumble. But unlike the Royal Rumble in real life, where it was simply an over-the-top battle royal, in this Royal Rumble you could beat your opponent by throwing them over the top rope, submission, or pinning. Now, although some wrestlers that were featured in WWF Superstars are not in this game, such as Andre the Giant, Macho Man Randy Savage, the Honky Tonk Man, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan, you had some of the previous wrestlers and some new ones. You had Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, Ted DiBiase, Big Boss Man, Jake the Snake Roberts, Earthquake, Mr. Perfect, Sergeant Slaughter, and Demolition, Smash and Crush. Alright, it's time to go WWF old school, so let's head down to the ring. Alright, first thing we're going to do is select Saturday night's main event tag team, and we're going to choose our wrestlers. I'm going to choose the Canadian Earthquake and the Ultimate Warrior. Warrior, of course, is probably the most powerful on this game, and Earthquake has a great finishing move and a great submission move. Alright, thank you, Mike McGurk. Now let's get the match started. One thing that's a big improvement from WWF Superstars is the fact that you can actually win matches by submission. So every wrestler has the ability to do a submission move, whether it be a Boston Crab or figure 4 leg lock. And some wrestlers, like Earthquake, has a really good submission move bear hug that he does when the opponent's been wore down. And of course, Ultimate Warrior is a pure power wrestler, and he's got a great move set. And all the move sets of all the wrestlers are very realistic as to what they were like in real life. Again, you have a series of 3 matches to go before you face LOD. Alright, you also get a chance to fight inside a steel cage. Another great step up and improvement from the previous game. And of course, like any real wrestling match, the steel cage itself can be used as a weapon. In other words, you can, when you go to do an Irish whip to your opponent and throw him into the ropes, instead you throw him right into the steel. So again, a really fun thing to do when you're in a wrestling match, and it can help you sometimes when you're kind of getting low on energy and you got to pull something off pretty quick. Just throw them into the steel. As you'll see, Warrior, bam, there's Mr. Perfect eating the steel. Alright, so let's get started. It's time for the main event, as my tag team is going against the Legion of Doom for the World Tag Team Championship. Now, as you can see, there's no option to buy in to be player 3 or 4, so you can't be LOD in this main event match. However, with a lot of using the moves and the tricks that you've learned so far, you'll be able to beat him. However, keep in mind that LOD can take double the amount of damage, just like Andre the Giant and Ted DiBiase did in the previous game. So it's going to take a while to beat him. Also, so keep plenty of quarters nearby, because you might need to throw them in as your energy gets lower. Okay, so which wrestlers are the best to use? I think that the two that I've chosen on Ultimate Warrior and Earthquake are two of the best. I also like to use Hulk Hogan and Sergeant Slaughter, as Sergeant Slaughter has a submission finishing move, and of course you can never beat the Hulk Hogan leg drop, brother. Some of the other wrestlers I don't really like to use in this mode, especially Demolition. They're not really all that great. Unfortunately, you can't do the Demolition Decapitation. I guess the programmers decided to leave that out of the game. Now, because of the fact that you should never use Ted DiBiase and Mr. Perfect in a Royal Rumble, and I'll explain why later, they wouldn't be too bad on this mode. The only problem is that the computer decides to let them use their finishing moves at very inappropriate times. So, of course, if you use a submission move or a finishing move too early in the game, your opponent jumps in and, disrupts the match. As you see right there, Animal came in there and, broke up things. Okay, I'm starting to get a little low on energy. Okay, threw another quarter in, and Warrior's back to how he was. And just like the previous game, once you think you're getting ahead of the game, they, see, knock you right back down again. Just like how the Road Warriors were in real life. So, again, what I like about this game is the fact that it's so realistic as far as the mannerisms, the move sets, and the overall way that the wrestlers were depicted is very realistic and really puts you in the action, making you think that you really are a part of this wrestling match. And again, with some of the wrestlers that are in here, these would be very historically important matches, especially this one right here, as I can't really imagine the Ultimate Warrior and Earthquake being a tag team, though, especially since the Ultimate Warrior was the first feud that Earthquake participated in when he first joined WWF. Another thing, when your opponent is trying to get to the corner, it's best to let them go, because you will never be able to get an advantage if they are dead set about getting to their partner in the corner. Just a little helpful hint. Get the Warriors back in, and whoop, there we go, reversal. Oh yeah, power slam. Okay, ultimate press. Not quite enough. Now, how do you tell if your opponent is ready to be pinned or is close to being pinned? When they're slammed to the mat, they, instead of laying in a strictly horizontal position, their bodies will be turned a little bit. So that'll let you know that they are either ready for like a finishing move like the Earthquake vertical splash or the Ultimate Warrior's running splash. So keep in mind on that when you're playing, because you don't really have a health meter for your opponent. You kind of just have to approximate and know when it's time to finish them off. See how he's laying there? That prone position is showing you that he was ready to be pinned. But I threw a quarter in, so. Another cool thing, if you punch and move back, if you punch your opponent like 3 or 4 times, you automatically knock him down, giving you the chance to tag out. And if you punch him from behind, you knock him down. Just a couple helpful hints for when you guys try this game out yourselves. Also, yeah, if you want to drop like a knee drop or an elbow drop on your opponent when they're prone like that, hit both fire buttons and it will drop the elbow or a knee or whatever. But remember that 9 times out of 10 your opponent's going to move out of the way. So only use that move when they're good and weak. Alright, Warrior press again. And there he is. He's ready. And ultimate splash. Nope, not enough. Told you, it takes double the amount of hits to take them out. Now, you can see there that Earthquake the computer is doing the Earthquake vertical splash. Yep. Nope. Still not ready. And they've done it. Okay, so after you beat LOD, you defend the titles 3 times, and then you have a rematch, and then the credits roll. Now let's check out the Royal Rumble. Alright, for the Royal Rumble, I have selected Hulk Hogan this time. So let's get started. Now, as I said in the other video earlier, do not ever, nope, throw him over the top rope. There's one way out. Excuse me. Do not ever select either Mr. Perfect or Ted DiBiase for the Royal Rumble match because of the fact that they cannot throw an opponent over the top rope. So do not ever select them. But if the right moves, you can actually just toss them over the top rope. You don't have to worry about submitting, and see how, yep, there I just threw Crush out. Again, besides throwing them over the top rope, you have the option of defeating them by pinfall or by submission. See, right there, Big Boss Man just tried to submit Jake the Snake, but it's too early in the match. Now I'm staying at the side waiting for an opponent to come at me. Okay, here comes Jake the Snake. Now I'm right by the ropes, so... Nope. Gotta hit him with the suplex. I kind of thought I'd toss him out there, but... Oh, you know what this is time for. The Hogan leg drop, brother. Oh, and he kicked out. Oh, like that would ever happen in real life. Oh, and sometimes when you got your opponent ready to beat him, somebody will sneak in and grab you. Like, see how Big Boss Man snuck over there and submitted Jake the Snake right behind my back. Yeah, they love to do that in this game. So I just did it to Mr. Perfect, because I can. And I'm going to pin, see if I can pin Smash. Yeah, I just eliminated Smash. Now, and I just eliminated the Ultimate Warrior. Now, winning the Royal Rumble, of course, is great, and it's a prestigious thing. However, your score, your final score in this game, not only depends on whether you won it or not, but how many people you submitted. My personal record is 11. I really don't think it's possible to get more than that. I've tried and tried over the years, but somehow the computer always finds a way to stop you from getting more than 11 eliminations during the course of a match. If any of you have ever gotten more than that, please leave me, tell me about it in the comment section below. I'd like to hear how you did it and who you did it with. Okay, there went Mr. Perfect. And there goes Sergeant Slaughter. See, that's another thing only the computer can do. Only they can taunt. Something else you can't do. Kind of getting low on energy there. Oh, see? Threw a quarter in. But see that how Earthquake did that bear hug? If I hadn't thrown the quarter in, I would have, I would have been done for. Nope. I tried to throw him off, but I couldn't do it. Yeah. You can interrupt tags to try to eliminate the person yourself, or you can jump on a tag, but unfortunately if you do jump on a tag, you don't get credit for the elimination. Okay, Earthquake is ready for the pickings. Pin him. And he's out of there, so it's just me and Hawk. Reversal there. Okay, let's see if we can get him. Nope, couldn't get him to submit to a sleeper hold. Looks like we're going to have to either throw him over the top rope or drop a leg on him. Time for the leg drop. And there it is. 1, 2, 3. I did it. Now the question that's on everyone's minds is it possible to play the game as the LOD, Hawk and Animal? The answer is yes. In the arcade, no. But on MAME, oh yes you can. Just like the previous game, where there was a way to cheat and use DiBiase and Andre, there's a way to do it with the LOD. However, in this version, they don't hold it against you, so you could play the entire game, either mode, as Hawk or Animal, and still beat the game. Now, if you're interested in learning how to do this, go to my Facebook page. You'll see it right there on the bottom of the screen, right under there, and I will show you in some extra videos how to use Hawk and Animal during the game. Well, that concludes this week's episode of Classic Gamer 74. I'm Anthony Ventrilo. I want to thank you all for stopping by. Don't forget to like, share, and click that little subscribe button down there, and click the bell icon beside it so that you'll be notified when I put out new videos. Also, I want to thank all the people that have sent in emails that want to audition for the part of being my co-host. If you are interested, please send me an email at this email address you see on the screen right there, and I will arrange with you to do an audition. And some of the best auditions I will play on the next video. So again, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate the support. And until next time, this is Anthony Ventrilo, Classic Gamer 74, saying have a blessed day, and I will talk to you soon. Goodbye.